Welcome to the Competitive Marketing Summit podcast series with your host, Ben Scheerer. And we're thrilled to have you with us. Don't forget to snag your spot for our incredible event from March 24th to 26th in Golden, Colorado. Be sure to register quickly. Spots are disappearing fast. Now, let's dive into the show. Over to you, Ben.
Hello, everyone. This is Ben Scheerer from the Competitive Marketing Summit. Today, I am being joined by Arik and Derek Johnson from the Aurora WDC firm. Hello, gentlemen.
Hey, Ben. Eric here. Hi, Ben.
Yeah, thanks for joining me today. I think these are really fun kind of interactive podcast videos that we do. It really gives us the ability to kind of understand what you're working on, what maybe our listeners will potentially see at the conference, and just hear more from yourselves. So let me kick things off. Obviously, we have the conference coming up here in March, which is the 24th through the 26th. And Aurora WDC is our newest sponsor. So thank you so much for your support. We appreciate that. We couldn't do it without you guys. So your support even makes it bigger and better. So thank you again. But I think what's going to be really exciting is you guys are doing a session on the first day. And the topic areas are like super interesting. And it really revolves a lot around a new book you guys just came out with. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that, what your thinking is, and go from there.
Well, I was born first, Ben, so I'll probably go first here today. But Arik Johnson, I'm his big brother, about 4 years older than he is. And I started the company 30 years ago, really to give myself a job that I wouldn't find boring. So competitive intelligence was a great way to do that. And Derek joined the company in 2003. To run the research side of the business, and eventually became CEO a few years later. And I started the R&D lab. And today, Aurora does all sorts of things, but our two principal businesses are in software and in services. And organizations that we worked with over the last 30 years, we've noticed a lot of patterns in how they use intelligence and insights output, or more importantly, fail to use it. And I think that's the lesson that's contained in the book. The Missionary and The Mercenary is really our guidebook on how to find balance as you walk this tightrope between your idealistic values that you want to serve in the long run sort of view of your life and in your career and in perhaps your employment with the firm that you're at right now, along with the pragmatic need to get things done day to day. And if you couldn't tell from the title, the missionary is the one with that sort of long range view that is a little more idealistic. The mercenary is the pragmatist who's got to get things done today if he wants to eat tomorrow. And we notice that there is this tension between these two mindsets, not just in the intelligence world, but principally in the leadership and in the organization that intelligence people serve. So we wrote the book really, Derek pestered me to write the book during the COVID lockdowns because I had refused to write a book about the stuff that we've learned how to do over the last few years because I felt like it would be kind of a vanity project. And then Derek said, well, what if one of us dies of COVID or something, and then we won't have a book at all. Our children and grandchildren won't know what we did for work or the mark we left on the world. So Derek talked me into it, and the rest is history. That started about going on 3 years ago. We started outlining. And we just finished the recuts on the audio book a couple of weeks ago. So it'll be out on our 30th anniversary, February 3rd, 2025.
Excellent. And that is perfect timing, right, for the conference. Why don't you unveil the surprise, right? Who the attendees will.
So we worked it out with you, Ben, where all the attendees of CMS will have an opportunity to get a book. Signed by us if they choose. Not everybody may want a signed copy.
I'm not sure I want a copy signed by us, but
maybe not. But the reality is we'll be there if you would like that.
All right.
The one thing I would add to what Arik said really is this is a book in memoriam or in honor of the traits and characteristics that our parents instilled in us starting as young boys. They were entrepreneurs in their own right in different fields. Their mom had a beauty salon owner-operator style business for literally 50 years. And it was really the entrepreneurial spirit and that missionary, mercenary balancing act, if you will, that they taught us, even though they never referred to it as that, obviously long ago. It was really them that was the catalyst for me saying to him, we should do this. They died years ago. They never got to see our professional success, really. They started to see some of it before I was here at Aurora in the earliest years of Arik starting this business as a ripe greenhorn at the age of 25. But they weren't really here to witness the success that we would have. And, while the success has come in our business in the field of intelligence, everybody knows that we're only as good as the last project that we've delivered, right?
Yeah.
And, I think that is the message. You can be a hired gun for your enterprise, as the mercenary might portray, or you go out to the agency community and, you augment through that perspective. But at the end of the day, you have to serve your ideals and morals and ethics. And sometimes that means you're in a mismatch. The mismatch would be your personal characteristics in that regard mismatched with what the company that might employ you at that time requires of you. And, my hope for this book is that it changes even just one person's viewpoint on, maybe they're in a mismatch with their current employer. Maybe they're in a mismatch in a relationship in their personal life. I really am not going to predict where it might lead people, but I hope that it speaks to people in a way that maybe they haven't been spoken to before.
Yeah, so maybe a little introspective learning as well, right? Through reading it. Now, Arik, you gave me an advanced look at the content. Haven't read it cover to cover online yet, but I did skim through the content, and it definitely looks like a good read. So certainly, once we get that final copy out and we get those in our hands, I'll be fully vested into that book.
Well,
conference.
We certainly warn people in the preface that there's a risk you may not emerge unchanged from having read it, because there is a lot of it's not only full of the doctrine and tradecraft that has developed between, we've got about 50 years doing this between us, and we've developed a lot of technique and methodology that goes along with that. But there's also a tremendous amount of heart in there. It's the stories of us growing up as brothers, becoming business partners, saying goodbye to our mom and dad, and then trying to live a life that we'd be, honored to have lived in hindsight as well, and one that we can be proud of. So we hope that whoever does get their hands on this manuscript and manages to dig their way through it, it's 100,000 words, a little more than that actually. So it's a great tale that we think will entertain as well as instruct. And I think for me, I will say the real blessing was in the writing of it. I got to write it with my brother and a whole team of people, by the way, who, you can look at the acknowledgments to see, a full list of all the contributors. But we were so influenced by, literally dozens of others who've helped us get where we are today, and excited to share that with all your folks in Golden here in a couple of weeks, or a couple of months, actually. I guess it's more like 2 months than it is 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, certainly looking forward to it. So excited to see you guys in person and also, be part of the event. And I think a lot of people will get a lot out of that.
Well, looking, by the way, at your faculty and attendee list, you've got some really top shelf people there. I can't wait to see a lot of old friends again who I haven't seen in many, many years, particularly, pre-COVID, really. I think your meeting kind of for us, I think, represents the kind of getting back to normal party that we've been hoping for some years now. And bravo to you on putting together such a great group of people.
Well, thank you so much. And I think, this is definitely not a moneymaker for me. It's a passion, and and that's what I went out to do, the same thing, right? To get like-minded professionals in our industry in a face-to-face event and in a venue that really lends for openness and connecting and networking. And that's what we've gotten. And this, as you may or may not know, is our third event. We started in 2018 and 2019. COVID kind of put the brakes on it for a while. And I was convinced to bring it back this year. You guys are a first-time sponsor. Any insight? Like what did you, when we first started talking about this, you're like, well, we might be interested in this. Give us some of the background on that. What kind of if you don't mind me asking, it might be a loaded question, but
I think for us,
so, yeah.
I mean, I think for us, it has a lot to do with our own perspective on giving back to the field that has blessed us in the way it has. And, when you look at the broader competitive intelligence, and we would probably even broaden it further to call it the strategic market and competitive intelligence field, you don't have to look far to see that it's undergone some tremendous change. Whether it be various trade associations have changed in their approach or in their messaging, at least to some degree. It's harder to find those in-person experiences that Arik said we are also longing for. And, looking at just your agenda and the list of people that I already know are coming, there's also, I think, quite a community of competitive intelligence fellows that I'm aware of that will be there. So for us, it's sort of like coming home. Even though it's our first time being there, it feels like we're going home in a sense, because it provides this channel for us to serve the broader mission of strategic market and competitive intelligence, more the missionary angle, while also, obviously, people in our line of work require the opportunities to meet people who may at some point down the road have a need for what we can augment or provide, right? So, it's going to serve both sides for us. And
Great.
I can tell you that the two of us, while we've spent a couple of decades plus now traveling together, that concept has been few and far between since COVID.
Really?
And, we're really looking forward to, as kids, we shared a room. In earliest stages of post-COVID, we actually got our own hotel rooms. But who knows? Maybe for old time's sake, we'll share a room. So
It'll be fun.
I don't know if they have bunk beds at the hotel. It could be a special request.
We used to have this really cool safe in the wall that I would hide all my valuables in as kids, just to make sure that Big Brother couldn't get to them.
Yeah, I get it for sure. I was the little brother, so my brother often was very impatient with me when I would get into his stuff. So I guess
that describes our childhood relationship.
Yep, it slowed me down a little bit before I got into his equipment. I'll just add to what Derek had to say there, Ben, that I think the real instrumental part was being able to spend some time with you out in Colorado when the CI Fellows inducted you this past year. So congratulations again on your CI Fellows appointment. And, I think hearing your attitude about where the field needs to go and what it is you're trying to do with your meeting, that's an important indicator to us that your values are going in the right direction and are in the right place. I think we've been really at a lack of leadership in the intelligence field for some years now, and it's fun to be able to see that. I'm looking forward to going to a meeting with my kid brother that's going to make me think again. That's I think the thing that has been missing for me in the meetings in the last few years is it didn't really make me think, and that's what I think is going to happen in Golden when we're together here at the end of March.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, and that's I think that's exactly what you'll get out of it, right? And I think if you looked at other last summits, you guys haven't been to one, but this is what we've really gotten out of it, and that's what really makes this special. So. We hope to carry on the tradition, but everything's lining up like it is. And like you guys said, some familiar faces, but there's also going to be like other types of speakers, events, programs that you haven't heard before. Yep. And this is what makes it exciting, because I think a lot of times in the intelligence community, we really look at kind of justifying our role, but at the same time, it's like the summit takes it a next step. It's like, how can you take this intelligence and actually apply this to companies' bottom line and meet with marketing to make that happen? So, yeah, and I think I like how your book, like the introspective part of that, maybe kind of fits in with that theme. So,
well, driving action, we talk about actionable insights and actionable intelligence, but the irony is that most intelligence that's produced is not acted upon. I think that's probably still true. And particularly in a marketing world where it has never been changing faster than it is in the next couple 3 years. I think what you're going to see take place in the marketing mission will create a tremendous set of opportunities, but it's also going to create a lot of risks and challenges for particularly people who are tasked with that mission and carrying out that mission. So wherever there's change happening, there's always opportunity to grow. And so we're eager to be part of what you put together.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today and being part of the Competitive Marketing Summit. Again, Arik and Derek Johnson from Aurora WDC. I am looking forward to seeing you in Golden in March. We'll also, once you get your book published, we'll put a link up at their website so people order it. And we will even put it in the next mass email too to ensure people get that in their hands. So, yeah.
We'd like to get that done. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you again. You guys are awesome. And we'll see you in March.
Thanks, Ben. Sounds good. See you, everybody.
That's it for this episode of the Competitive Marketing Summit video podcast. Our thanks to our guests. Ready to level up your CI game? Join Ben Gilod, Jay Nakagawa, and Clara Smith at our Day 1 Masterclass workshop on March 24th. It's going to be epic. Of course, none of this would be possible without our generous sponsors. We can't wait to see you in breathtaking Golden, Colorado this March.